I'd like to call to order this meeting of Susquehanna Township Board of Commissioners, the January 9th, 2025 meeting. Would note that all commissioners are here with the exception of Commissioner Fred Engel, who is excused. If you can read that, we are. We did meet an executive session to discuss matters of personnel and real estate. We'll begin with a moment of silence and a pledge of allegiance, and I would ask that the pledge be led by Mr. Doug Brown.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Very well done, Doug. Excellent. Yeah, sound system.
Yeah, we're
Begin with approval of petitions, complaints, suggestions from citizens. Does anybody wish to address the board at this point? Yes, please come forward and state your name.
Good evening. My name is Doug Brown. I'm Chief of Staff for Union State Senator Patty Kim. It's nice to see President Lynch and everybody on the board, Teresa, Mike. I've had the privilege of working with many of you in my capacity in local government, both as a municipal and county employee. So we just wanted to introduce ourselves. In Patty's first term, Senator Kim, one of her priorities is to be active and engaged and visible in all of our municipalities that we serve in the 15th district. I have a background in local government and totally admire what everybody does here. We've been through a lot of things together. I spent 7 years as a borough manager, 5 years with Dauphin County at the Office of Community and Economic Development. So, really have gotten to get a taste of local government from two different sides. Senator Kim is the minority chair of the local government committee in the state senate. So if anyone has ideas, has any thoughts or things to share that can make life easier for a municipality, please let us know. We're always open to ideas. And we will be following up as well with the meeting with the senator herself to go over some of Susquehanna Township's needs in more detail. So I just wanted to thank you. We also have Abe Kittle here this evening. He is a committee staff member for us. We're here to serve you guys and just wanted to make our presence known and introduce ourselves.
Very good.
Thank you.
Mr. President,
Yes.
just to respond to the request, food for thought. I don't actually have a request, it's just a conversation topic. But perhaps we could visit upon the subject of how townships, particularly our township, doesn't receive a lot of state funding, particularly in the area of tourism and the Visitors Bureau through the county or other funding avenues, despite the fact that our emergency services, including our highway department, provide a significant percentage of response to areas that are not within the township, but do receive funding from the state and from the county because of tourism and visitors and those particular tax revenues. I think we provide a lot of resources and value added, but not a lot of help.
Okay, great.
And by not a lot, I mean zero.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. And as you know, budget season will be upon us. It is upon us, and so I'll share my information with Teresa. Although she knows how to get a hold of me, and I know how to get a hold of her. But I'll share my information for everyone. So if anyone has any questions or want to further that conversation, Mr. Sanderson, we certainly can.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Where'd you get your vest? Holly?
I know you're not used to seeing me this dressed up, huh?
No. And the haircut is fresh.
Haircut's not
You have to lose that.
He's seen me on some pretty rough days at the county. But thank you guys very much.
All right. Thank you, Doug. Anybody else wish to address the board tonight?
You haven't changed your stuff.
All right, hearing none, moving on to approval of minutes from our
Mr. President,
December
I'd like to move for approval of the December 12th, 2024.
Penn State or Notre Dame? Moved and seconded. Comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Reports of committees, buildings and grounds, Commissioner Rothrock.
No report, Mr. President.
Thank you. Budget and Finance, Commissioner Sanderson.
No report at this time, thank you.
Thank you. Public Works, Commissioner Napper.
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
I'm going to have a report. The Public Works Department continues the preparation for the winter season to ensure residents can travel safely across the township. Thus far, we've had one snow event which required plowing and salting of the township roads. Mr. President, Public Works understands that the importance of reliable travel and works to keep township roads free of snow and ice. The township urges the public to prepare themselves in their vehicle. This ends my report, sir.
All right, thank you very much. Health and Sanitation, Commissioner Barcheck.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just to mention that if folks have a real or live Christmas tree that they need to dispose of, Penn Waste will be picking them up at the location where you normally place your yard waste for pickup. And that will take place for 2 Saturdays, Saturday, January 11th and Saturday, January 18th. And just please note, do not place the trees in plastic bags and remove all lights and ornaments. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Admin and Personnel, Commissioner Napper.
Yes, Mr. President, Township successfully filled the following positions: a public work truck driver, part-time finance clerk, finance assistant, HR clerk, 2 code enforcement officers. The township is preparing to make an offer for the community development admin position. And as a final note, Mr. President, the township is advertising still for the sewer operation manager. This ends my report, sir.
All right, thank you.
Yes.
Police, Commissioner Engel's not here. Commissioner Colon, if you have anything.
On report, Mr. President.
Fire and EMS, Commissioner Hisro.
No report, Mr. President.
Thank you. Planning and Zoning, Commissioner Rothrock.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd first like to thank Mac Reach for helping me out. I wasn't able to make the meetings that I'm going to be reporting on. He wrote an excellent report. I think I'm going to have him write the rest of mine. No, I'm just. But I'm going to do the short version of this. The Planning Commission met on the 23rd of December. There were 3 items on the agenda. One was 2323 Lingelstown Road, which was a Chase Bank request. That's in the 8th Ward. And this was a land development plan to build a 3,000 square foot bank in Lingelstown Road next to the UPMC walk-in center. Since it's been mostly developed, they really talked a lot about landscaping and trying to keep the appearance good because it's in that corridor. And that application was recommended for conditional approval, but it's not on the agenda for this evening. The next one was 2500 Doan Road. That's in the 4th Ward. It was a minor subdivision plan to subdivide an existing 7-acre lot. There was discussion about sidewalks, as there usually are in those cases, and the application was then tabled to give the applicant more time to develop some options for sidewalks. And then 2834 Doan Road, also in the 4th Ward, was a subdivision plan to divide a 6.5 acre into 2 lots. One of the lots was on one side of the road and the other's on the other side of the road, and is in, I think, the floodplain of the Paxton Creek. So it's kind of an odd request. There were a lot of discussion on that, and that also was tabled to allow the staff to research the issues of land transfer and the feasibility of it. There also was a zoning hearing board meeting on the 2nd of January regarding 2300 Continental Drive, which is in the 2nd Ward. It was requested for widening a driveway, and that application was denied. That concludes my report.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner. School Board, Commissioner Colon.
Mr. President, there's no report, but the school board will meet on the 21st of this month, 7 p.m. at the school board district office. That's what we're saying.
All right, thank you. Authority, Commissioner Napper?
Yes, Mr. President. Two great stories to report tonight, sir. The Susquehanna Township Authority Rates and Regulation Committee worked with the Township Budget and Finance Committee on the 2025 sewer and stormwater budget. The Sewer Authority approved 2 resolutions at the January 7th meeting to establish the 2025 sewer rate and regulation fee. I'm happy to report that there will be no increase for those fees. Also, second, I want to commend the Public Works Department for replacing 100 feet of 24-inch storm line pipe in the Olympic Heights development. The Public Works Director performed this work for $15,000 with in-house employees and saved the township $110,000. Mr. President, this goes to show the talent we have in our Public Works Department. This ends my report, sir.
Good stories to tell. Thank you.
Yes.
All right. Shade Tree, Commissioner Cross.
Thank you, President Lynch. The next meeting of the Shade Tree Commission will be on January the 16th at 4 p.m. And that ends my report.
Okay. All right, and Communications, Commissioner Rabarchak.
Thank you, Mr. President. I do have a message to communicate. Today is National Law Enforcement Appreciation Day. And as the title expresses, implies, it's a day to express gratitude to your local law enforcement. So I'd like to take this opportunity to thank our Director of Public Safety, Rob Martin, for leading our fine police department. We appreciate everything you do, and I think a lot of us, well, all of us up here realize that they do a lot more than police work. They do social work, they're dog wardens. I mean, there's nothing they don't do out there in the community to help. So I really think that policing maybe should be called something different along the lines of helpers, because that's a lot more of what they do these days. So thank you, Chief. Thank you for everything you do, and thank you to your officers.
Thank you.
And I think we have a newsletter coming out this month as far as other communications.
Okay, good, yeah. Yeah, that should be out, we know when? Teresa?
Sorry, I don't know.
The 27th.
I was gonna say it's on the 3rd or 4th out. We come to
So a
January.
couple weeks. But well put on law enforcement appreciation. You know, everybody on this board truly appreciates all the men and women who wear the blue. And they're engaged in a wide gamut of activities, as Jody indicated. And we appreciate the serious stuff and the smaller stuff that is still truly appreciated by our residents. So thank you for shaping the police department as it is today. And it's come a long way in 26 years. Is that how long it's been?
27.
Sorry. 27.
Who's counting?
Yeah, who's counting? There we go. Thanks, Chief.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Human Relations Commission, Human Relations,
No report.
no report. Parks and Rec, Commissioner Polona.
Mr. President, the RAC will meet on third Tuesday of this month, the 21st, here at the Township Building at 6 p.m. We're embarking on a 6-part master plan this year, so it's going to be exciting for us. Also, the Parks and Rec Department will be conducting its first big event on Monday, the 13th, Sticker Palooza, 6 to 7:30 p.m. here at the Township Building. So if you have stickers, come on here and attend the event. And that's my report.
All right, thank you. Ordinances, resolutions, subdivisions, land development plans. First up is revised zoning ordinance amendment for 2150 Hurst Street Investors, LLP, 2150 Hurst Street, Harrisburg, Susquehanna Township. Mac, do you want to take this?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening, Commissioners. Provided with the agenda is a draft amendment to Chapter 27 zoning of the Susquehanna Township Code of Ordinances, establishing a multifamily complex use in the MU1 mixed-use corridor high-density zoning district. The purpose of the requested amendment is to facilitate the redevelopment of 2150 Hurst Street with multifamily housing, while the use of multifamily housing is permitted in the MU1 zoning district. The draft amendment would permit development in a manner that varies from our current ordinance. as noted in the provided regulation comparison. The Township Planning Commission and the Dauphin County Planning Commission have conducted numerous reviews of various versions of the draft ordinance amendment. At their meeting on December 23rd, it's actually November 26th, 2024, the Township Planning Commission recommended approval of the amendment, subject to the maximum permitted residential density being reduced to 16 units an acre from 17 units an acre, a change which has since been made to the draft amendment. As analyzed and discussed by the Township Planning Commission and the County Planning Commission, the draft amendment is generally consistent with the comprehensive plan. This evening, the board is asked to schedule a public hearing on the ordinance amendment for Thursday, February 13th. Thank you.
Mr. President, I'll move for approval of that, of the hearing.
I'll second. That's for Thursday, February 13th, seconded by Commissioner Rothrock. And what time will the hearing be?
6:30,
6:30
this
p.m.
location at the township.
Okay. Good. Any, we'll move to second. Any comments or questions? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? One opposition. Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Breach. Hang on. Next up is Villas of Beaufort, Lot 4 preliminary final minor subdivision plan. Current deadline is January 28th, 2025.
Provided with the agenda is a copy of the preliminary and final subdivision and land development plan submitted for the Villas of Beaufort, Lot 4, located at the southeastern portion of Brandywine Court. This item was presented at the board on their meeting on December 12th and was tabled to give Fire Marshal and Fire Chief Dries time to comment on the issue before they took action. Since the meeting on the 12th, myself and Fire Marshal Dries have met and toured the property, and Fire Marshal Dries has no issues with the proposed modification. However, he stated that the fire hydrant is private and that the developer should be aware, and that is since been provided to the developer for their knowledge. The purpose of this plan is to subdivide the existing undeveloped parcel to create 2 new lots for future residential development. Both new lots would be roughly 0.4 acres in size. This project is located in the R2 medium density zoning district in the 8th Ward. Additionally, the applicant has requested a subdivision and land development ordinance waiver and a subdivision and land development ordinance modification. The waiver is from section 22-404 preliminary plan procedures of the subdivision and land development ordinance, and the modification request is from 22-2002.3 lake stream and river frontage protection to provide a 16-foot wide access point to the maintenance easement area around the stream on site as opposed to a 50-foot wide access point. At their meeting on November 25th, 2024, the Planning Commission recommended approval of the waiver, modification, and plan subject to the following conditions. Condition number 1, that all comments from the Township staff memo dated December 6, 2024, and the Township engineers memo dated December 9, 2024 are addressed. That all property markers shall be inspected by the Township engineer prior to the recording of the plan, or that financial security shall be provided for the property markers. And condition number 3 is that financial security is provided for the timely, proper, and complete construction of all applicable improvements, including but not limited to sidewalk. Thank you.
Okay, is there a motion on the waivers?
Yes, I move, can we move to approve both of the waivers with one vote?
You can.
Is that possible? So that's my motion.
Okay.
Second.
Sager second?
Yes.
All right. So moved and second. Any comments, questions?
I just, go ahead. I just wanted to clarify this stream access issue is mitigated somewhat by the fact that there's a stream access on the other side of the stream that is actually closer and more convenient than this particular pathway. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is correct. And Chief Dries and I went out on site, and I don't want to speak, definitively on it, but I'm not sure how valuable access in general would be there. It's pretty steep, especially in the back part of it. But yeah, that is correct. There is access on the other side as well.
And access to which body of water?
Yeah, Paxton Creek.
Paxton Creek.
Yeah. Didn't know if it was a tributary or not.
Commissioner Barczyk, would you have something?
Yeah, it's really not related to the waiver, but a comment in the narrative, and I'll just ask it now. So what are the implications for a private hydrant? How can that impact?
I'll-
firefighting or safety, the fact that it's private.
I'll defer to Chief Reese on that.
Fair question. So the fire hydrants they put in, if there's a fire hydrant that's put in on a street that's not dedicated to Susquehanna Township, that home association is responsible for the maintenance and the wear and tear on that fire hydrant. The fire service still uses it, but the Susquehanna Township does not have to pay rental fee, if you will, for those fire hydrants. They're in those type of properties. That's one that's been a private hydrant for years. And they also tapped off of that water main to go back to Cherry Orchard development, the Cherry Orchard building there. And those people know that it's coming off of a private hydrant, so they're all responsible. So we want to put it on record that they know everything that they're responsible for.
Okay. So it's no less effective than a
No,
public hydrant?
correct.
Okay.
Only if they don't maintain it.
And, okay. How
they
do we
still
know that they
inspected?
maintain it? Do they have to submit records?
They are responsible for that. If we go to a fire call, we're always going to open up for the most part, we're always going to open up the fire hydrant. We found some in the old Camelot Village that were bad, and as a result of our fire inspections, we went ahead and they had to fix those. But that's on the apartment building or the home association, not on the Viola Water or Capital Region Water.
So do we do regular inspections at private hydrants then?
Now,
So then how would we know if
It's-
it's kept up? My
realistically,
concern obviously is if you.
realistically, it's hit or miss. Our SOPs, we go to 2 different hydrants for tactics.
Okay, maybe discussion for another time, but maybe we need a policy that it has to be checked every so often.
It's the legal responsibility is on them through the codes. However, we don't do the back checking, which we can add that to the plate. That's definitely.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, sir. Good question.
Thanks, Chief.
Okay. So, on the waivers, we have, it's been moved and seconded. Any other comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The board will, or the chair will entertain a motion to approve the preliminary final subdivision plan.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next up, hang in there, is Chick-fil-A 2009 Dotson Court sidewalk waiver and a fee in lieu of construction. Mr. Bridge.
Thank you, Mr. President. Provided with the agenda is a copy of the waiver request letter from section 221107, sidewalks of the subdivision and land development ordinance for the Chick-fil-A at 2009 Dotson Court. At the meeting on October 10th, 2024, the Board of Commissioners conditionally approved the preliminary and final land development plan for this Chick-fil-A. However, the waiver result for the purpose of not installing sidewalks along North Progress Avenue was not approved at that time. In support of the waiver request, the applicant is proposing a revised fee in lieu of sidewalk construction amount in accordance with section 221107.e of the subdivision and land development ordinance, the amount of which is included with the agenda. Staff is recommending approval of the fee in lieu of amount, and additionally, staff is recommending approval of the waiver request from 221107 of the subdivision and land development ordinance in accordance with the following condition. That condition being the applicant shall enter into a written agreement with the township outlining the payment of the fee in lieu of sidewalk construction. Thank you.
Okay, is there a motion to authorize Manager Everly to negotiate a fee in lieu of?
Also move.
Second.
Moved and seconded by Commissioner Cross. All right, got in there. Any questions or comments?
Yeah, I have a question on this one. So looking at the map, so obviously it's a kind of weird situation, location there, but I wonder though if we don't, it appears that we don't have a need for sidewalk, but people will still be walking around the area anyway, going from one establishment to the next. So I'm always concerned about people walking across parking lots, across the roads, especially that, there are some vehicles trafficking here. So my question is, how do we make sure that the pedestrians have somewhere to walk on, not on the road?
Gotcha.
Within that property.
Gotcha. Thank you, Commissioner. And I would like to note that there is sidewalk along the entirety of Dotson Court and the portion of Dotson Court where this Chick-fil-A will be located. So there is the ability for pedestrians to circulate in that portion of it off of Cone Road onto Dotson Court.
On the internal premises.
Yes, sir, that's correct. And this waiver request is only for the outlying portion of the parcel that is adjacent to Paxton Creek, along North Progress Avenue, where it leads directly to the highway ramp, where sidewalk construction would be not very feasible and questionably desirable.
I make the motion.
Okay. Any other comments or questions?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thanks, Beck. Staff reports.
Can I?
Yes.
With that last one though, we approved the negotiation, there was a last thing here about a recommendation to approve the waiver. We wouldn't actually approve the waiver until the negotiations were concluded, correct? So, this getting clarification? Because there was two things here, but we didn't address the second. I'm assuming
We can approve the waiver.
I'm sorry?
We can approve the waiver, and we already have, I think, pretty much a deal in principle. Just asking for approval of the manager to be able to commit that to paper, so I'm comfortable approving the
Okay,
waiver.
I didn't make a motion to approve the
Well, let's do
waiver,
that.
but it's just to
Let's
make
do
sure that I'll make the motion to approve the waiver as well.
I'd like to
it.
note
Subject to,
Subject to the negotiated deal on the fee in lieu of construction amount.
Yeah, the waiver, the approval of the waiver request will be conditioned on the applicants entering into an agreement with the township outlining that payment.
Okay, and my motion, the first, but I just wanted to make sure it's covered, so that clarifying that, making a second motion. Okay.
I'll second that if no one has.
all right. It's been moved and seconded. Comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Good catch. Appointments, nothing, staff reports. Town manager.
Thank you, Mr. President. My report as submitted. I just want to continue to thank staff for all their hard work you see here today and every day. I'm continued to be impressed with their professionalism and their talent. So I just want to again thank them and again just say thank you for all the things you do. We're very fortunate to have everybody here that we have. So
Well put. That's your report?
there's an additional report, but that's in addition.
That's it. Good for now. All right, thank you. Public safety, police, chief, do you have anything?
Nothing scripted. Well, I want to thank Commissioner Barczyk and President Lynch, all of you for the kind comments on Law Enforcement Appreciation Day. And I want to publicly thank Manager Everly for walking through the station today and thanking all of our officers on this Appreciation Day. And as the Commissioner and the President spoke, police do a lot of things, from the Atlantic to the Pacific. Investigate accidents, settle domestic disputes, arrest domestic violence offenders, arrest criminal offenders. We do a lot, often non-scripted. But as I was going through the 2024 statistics, there was one that jumped out at me that more than doubled between 2023 and 2024, and it's something a lot of citizens in America don't realize we do. And in addition to our 3 homicides last year, 2 fatal accidents, we had 60 death investigations. And those death investigations, what they are is our officers respond to a home, and whether it's they're checking on the welfare and they find someone has deceased, family members called from another state or whatever it is, and in those cases, those officers are in that home with that deceased body for sometimes hours. And They don't tell us in the police academy that we've signed up to be funeral directors, but all too often we are. And a lot of those 60 death investigations required follow-up autopsies that the officers have to attend. And those are things I can tell you from being in far too many autopsies, including a baby and one of our officers. You can't unsee what you see. And people in my position, as a leader in law enforcement of an agency, my biggest concern is the mental welfare of my officers. That's why you see me constantly be their biggest cheerleader, and I always will, because they're seeing things that you can't put on a piece of paper. They're seeing things that I can't express to you in an email. And it's hard. And a lot of those instances, we have to do mental health diffusings, mental health debriefings with the officers to make sure that, you know, we didn't have that when I was coming up through. You just, you know, pat it on the rear end and get back to the next call. And it damages us. And I think for my profession, you know, knowing that the shadows are lengthening for me now, I worry about my profession in the future, that mental health is going to be so important to keep these officers mentally healthy. But I wanted to share that aspect of my profession that goes unseen and unnoticed a lot. So thank you for your appreciation. I know that you know the tough job they have. Susquehanna Township to me has always been a microcosm of our nation. That's why I love it here. So on this Appreciation Day, thank you. And I will express your sincere thanks to the officers. Thanks.
We'll put her up. Thank you. Community Economic Development, do we have anything on that front tonight?
The report is included with the packet, Mr. President.
Okay, thank you. Public Works, do you have anything, Nate?
My report's attached. If you have any questions, I just have a couple of public service announcements regarding snow removal. One of our biggest challenges are the basketball hoops and people not moving their trash cans back after they've been emptied and leaving them in the center of the alleyways. So just want to put out a public service announcement of bringing the garbage cans back off the roadway after they've been collected, and to remove the portable basketball hoops from the alleyways and curb lines so we can clear to the curb when necessary. That's all I have, Mr. President.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you again for your men's work and Left Kites. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Engineer, got anything?
My report's in your packets. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Okay. Law Bureau.
Mr. President, since there's nothing happening tonight that I'm interested in, I prepared a detailed report of the development of the second-class township code and its origination in the Old English law. I'd like to go over this for some period of time, so
I'm sure you will.
if I forgot
Maybe.
well, I would actually just like to say, go Duquesne, two-time winner of the Orange Bowl, undefeated since 1934.
Undefeated since
That concludes my report.
in the beginning. You can leave that out of the.
I'm waiting for you to read stuff.
Waiting for you to read.
Okay, anything from Parks and Rec? All right, new business, consent agenda. You have in your packet supporting documentation. If you have any questions, I'll read off what's in the consent agenda. If you have any questions, feel free to address them individually before we vote, once a motion and second is achieved. Approve schedule of meetings. B is approve committee reappointments for Human Relations Commission, 3-year term, Amy Putnam. Property Maintenance Board of Appeals, 3-year term, Gary Leiker. Recreation Advisory Board, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on that list. Alan Doherty, Alex Greenlee, Mark Jacobs, Amy Sturgis, and Mike Loomis. Item C is approved financial security adjustment number 1 for Tommy Car Wash in the amount of $568. Financial security would be adjusted to $11,616. Approve financial security adjustment number 6 for Enclave at Elmerton in the amount of $1,364, bringing financial security adjustment to 0. Approve statement of bills paid for November 2024 and December 2024. Approve appointment of Tracy Eisman, Finance Assistant, effective January 21st, 2025. Approve the appointment of Nicholas Master, Customer Service Specialist, effective part-time, effective January 13th, 2025. And approval of an agreement with Cohen Law Group to negotiate a franchise agreement renewal with Verizon Fios operators. Is there a motion on the consent agenda?
So moved.
I'll second, and that with one point of clarification.
Moved and seconded. Clarification, please.
Yes, under the scheduled meetings, Fred, help me with this. I didn't go back and double check. For rec meetings, it says the second Tuesday of each month. I thought it was the third Tuesday of each month.
Yeah, it should be third Tuesday.
I'll change it.
Okay. Other than that, thank you.
You're good? Okay.
Mr. President, I
Yes,
have
ma'am.
one question. Item 2, the CapCod Verizon franchise renewal agreement. Is the cost of that, is that the cost for the COG, or is that Susquehanna Township's cost?
That's Susquehanna's portion, as I read.
That's our portion.
Okay.
It is a significant negotiation.
That's what
It is possible that that amount may drop if more people jump on.
Okay.
As you know, the COG pricing depends on the number of people that participate, but that's the amount we have right now. It is within the lines of what I would expect for a negotiation like that.
That answers my question, thank you.
All right, anything else? Vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Welcome aboard. Both of you. All right, Commissioner comments. Anybody want to start off the new year with some bloviation?
I will start with one. I'd like to congratulate the Prime Healthcare Clinic LLC, which is at 4336 Sturbridge Drive in Harrisburg, along Lingle Stam Road. That they opened for business on January 1st, and I was honored to be at the ribbon cutting ceremony January 1st after party all night, but we were there at 10 a.m. But it's good that we have another business in the township, another clinic, especially to be serving. They tend to serve the immigrant community because it's owned by the Nepali business community people. So it's I think we're lucky to have them in our township.
All right, thank you. Anybody else wish to comment?
Go Penn State. Let's go. Kick off this.
Mr. Israel, response.
Oh, wait.
All right.
Motion to
Let's go.
I'll second.
We're moved and seconded to adjourn. Comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are out of here.
I'm out.
3 minutes next.